Hello, Dispatch Radio Nation. You know it's a new year, and we wanted to get you something special. How about entertaining and informative discussions with not one, not two, but a dozen outdoor adventurers who are out there exploring the world in interesting and fascinating ways? Back in September, we had a chance to record with a slew of outdoor adventurers while recording live from Gociety Adventure Fest at Denver's Sculpture Park. What you're listening to now is the first of a 6-part special we're delivering to you over the coming weeks. We start off this episode with organizers and sponsors of the event and talk about how Adventure Fest came about. We move on to talk with 3 students who participated in a backpacking trip with Big City Mountaineers, a nonprofit based here in Golden that introduces urban youth to the outdoors. We'll release interviews every Friday, so be sure to subscribe on iTunes or Stitcher and check back with us weekly for bonus content. I'm going to take a minute now to give you a sampling of what to expect over the next few weeks. Then we'll jump into our discussion with Gociety, ZEAL, and Big City Mountaineers. Here's a sampling of what to expect. Who doesn't like a good old-fashioned conspiracy theory? In part 2 of our series, we talk with 2 Boulder residents who have very different approaches to outdoor adventure. We have a lively discussion with Adventure TV host JJ Yash and veteran polar explorer Eric Larson, who is the first person to ski both the North and South Poles and climb Mount Everest in 1 year. Incidentally, he's also the only person on Earth to think to want to do that. That's just insane. In what we're calling the Great Debate, JJ tries to convince Eric that there are secret pyramids hidden under South America. It gets fun. Would you like to know what it's like to sleep at the summit of all of Colorado's 14ers? What about doing yoga at the foot of Mount Everest? Well, in part 3 of our series, we talk about both with professional rock climber and yogi Olivia Shue and Dr. John Kudrowski, an explorer and professor based in Vail. Perhaps you're in Boulder and slacklining is your thing. We're going to get 4,000 feet off the ground on a thin piece of nylon with Michelle Griffith in part 4, and we track down Michelle's woman crush live on air. Also in the series, we talk with a professional blogger and adventurer, Aaron Sullivan, and we talk with 2 incredible photographers who are out there capturing images of outdoor adventure in very different ways, and both working hard to get those shots we enjoy. So there you go. Happy New Year. Make sure to check back to us every week and subscribe to us on iTunes and Stitcher. And while you're there, throw up a 5-star review. We'll read our favorite 5-star reviews every week. Happy New Year.
Backcountry Colorado, hiking, backpacking.
I did a lot of marathons and was convinced to do some ultras.
Climbing, and I do filming and photography.
I just like the ultras because I love the community. I just think that everybody is so nice, whether they're the first place finishers or, us that kind of mosey along.
Hey everybody, we're here live, recording live from the ZEAL Optics Explorer. This is the Dispatch Radio takeover of the ZEAL Optics Explorer here at Adventure Fest, sponsored by Gociety. We've got some exciting people here in the trailer. We've got a lot of fun activity planned today. Let's just go around the room and around the trailer, I should say, and say who we've got. Nick, start with you.
Hey, Nick Bronia from Dispatch Radio. You've heard me many a time.
And Nick recently broke his foot at a Tough Mudder, so maybe we'll get into that at some point. Who's next to you, Nick?
I'm Elizabeth Williams. I'm the director of programs at an organization called Big City Mountaineers.
Excellent. And to your left?
Mike Lewis here with ZEAL Optics in our home away from home, the 71 Airstream down here in Denver.
And to your left?
Anna Thielke, CEO and co-founder of Gociety.
And rounding out the circle here, we've got...
Hey, it's Corey from Dispatch.
And I'm Russ Rizzo. So first of all, we want to start with you, Anna. Thank you for throwing what looks to be an awesome event. We've got yoga going on outside. We've got a live DJ. It's very mountain feel here at Sculpture Park in Denver. We're seeing a lot of vendor booths. We're seeing skis out, which I know a lot of folks are starting to talk about ski season already. We see a big stage with some big speakers. I've seen people walking around with beer. Why don't you just kick off our day of programming here? Tell us a little bit about Gociety and what created this event that we're looking at here today.
Yeah, so initially, Gociety was mostly about finding community and finding the people that do the things that you like to do. So Alex and I, when we first started it, we said, how do you find somebody, how do you get out of the singles line? How do you find adventure every day and find somebody who you really have a unique bond with? And I think that we've been able to provide that for our community. So that's how it started. The idea of Gociety Adventure Fest was really to bring it all the way open. So we first catered to the really core community of the outdoor world, and now we're saying, actually, why don't we get more people interested in this? And let's just open some doors. Let's have people try new things. Let's let them know that it's okay to experiment and learn and grow, especially in this like really great community with these great people.
Well, it's interesting you say that parallels some of the discussions we're having at Dispatch Radio. I mean, we're much newer than you. We've been around for, I don't know what, Corey?
6 months or so.
6
now.
months. And we're having the same conversations about how, yes, we are engaging with that kind of core, hardcore audience, but boy, it's really much more rewarding to reach to a more general audience and motivate more people into the community. Is that how you feel?
Yeah, definitely. There's always the core. There's always like the people who, Jason's a great example. I mean, he's such a sweetheart. He's always running up mountains and doing
Jason
crazy
Anson, who's a friend of the show. He's been on
Right.
several times.
Right. He's part of our team, and he's just a great guy. But those are the kind of people that I feel really, represent the outdoor community, and those are the people who are going out there and sort of opening their arms a little bit and saying, hey, check it out. Here's how you do this little thing. Here's a life hack. So I think it's people move to Denver because they want to have this outdoor mountain-based lifestyle, and it's easy to do when you have this community.
Do you have a story of when you started Gociety, of coming together with somebody or a group of people that, gave you that feeling of, hey, this is our community?
Yeah, I have a kind of a strange story, but going to Poland, we actually have a community in Poland.
Cool.
We have a community in Poland.
Hello out there, Poland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey Poland. Hello, Warszawa. But we go there for just a vacation, and we had a little bit of work to do there. And when we went there, I actually consulted one of the members on Gociety, and I said, hey, what are the good hiking places in Poland? And he gave me some really great tips, and it was just the end of ski season, but if it was like a couple weeks earlier, we could have skied, and that would have been amazing. So that's just one of those things. It's like you can reach out across the world and find somebody who gives you an answer on Gociety about this sort of, locals knowledge.
Well, excellent. And to your right, Mike Lewis, we have you to thank for where we're sitting here today. Could you describe the atmosphere for our listeners?
Indeed. So we've got a custom-built 71 Airstream that we stripped down to the chassis and built a gull wing door out. So basically a pop-up shop. There's a big deck off the side, so it's going to be great for watching yoga now and then some of the bands later, and just a good place to hang out and best seat in the house.
And you're a sponsor of this event. Can you tell us from your perspective, what interested you when you first heard this idea and why you came on board?
Well, I think Anna hit it on the head with the focus on community here and the type of people that Gociety draws into the fold and the types of, gateway experiences that things like this offer for the people new to the city, people wanting to get into the outdoor community, and kind of that outdoor generalist outreach, given the opportunity to try things like stand-up paddle, kayak, climbing, all here in a downtown environment. It's pretty cool.
And when the normal listener hears Director of Brand Activation and Digital Strategy, ZEAL Optics, I'm trying to picture what a normal day might look like in your life.
So we're a pretty small team up at ZEAL. There's about 8 of us in the office. We all wear a lot of hats and pretty much all hands on deck. So never the same place twice, but everything from events to e-commerce to marketing to PR, you name it.
And you work with a lot of the athletes that ZEAL sponsors. We're going to be talking to a few folks later today. You want to give us a little taste of who we're going to hear from later today?
Yeah, definitely. We're excited. Our athlete base is so broad. We've got everything from skaters and surfers and snowboarders to climbers, endurance runners, etc. And here in Colorado, it's such a hub for such a wide array of activities. We're looking at John Kodrowski here, who's an alpinist, mountaineer, climatologist. We've got some world-renowned climbers, Matt Siegel, Olivia Sue, Eric Larson right around the corner there, Polar Explorer. So, a real diverse crowd, and going to be hearing some interesting stories throughout the day.
I got to tell you, Dispatch Nation, this is an amazing lineup that we've got. We reached out to Mike, said, hey, do you have any cool people we could talk to? And he just unloaded on us. So we're going to have so many interesting conversations today. So we're definitely pumped. An interesting part of this whole apparatus here is that it does benefit a really good nonprofit that everybody here in Denver is super proud of, Big City Mountaineers. Welcome to the program, Elizabeth. Tell us a little bit about your involvement with Gociety, how this all got started.
Yeah, for sure. So, we're so fortunate to have great sponsors in the Denver area. Nationally, ZEAL is actually one of our corporate sponsors as well. But the mission of Big City Mountaineers is to bring under-resourced urban youth into the backcountry. So the core of our program is week-long backpacking programs for 13 to 18-year-olds, students who have never had the opportunity to especially backpack, but often even hike. We also have an overnight program for 8 to 12-year-olds. And so very first time for some of these little kids to go out and sleep in a tent and cook outside. And so just really great alignment with this idea of community and welcoming in new people who haven't had the opportunity to explore the outdoors.
And we're excited. We're going to get a couple of your alumni ambassadors here in a few minutes, actually, and sit down and learn more about the program. We'll also be recording on Monday at your headquarters. You've been gracious enough to open your headquarters when we talked to Joe Grant and some adventure racers on Monday night. And then we're going to be coming back in about a month to really dive deep into Big City Mountaineers, because it's a really fantastic program. Anybody in the Colorado area, particularly, who's outdoorsy and wants to help get people into the outdoors, a great program to start. Is it just in Colorado?
No, we're actually a national program. So we're headquartered here in Colorado, but run programs out of Boston for the first time this year, Minneapolis, Seattle, Portland, and San Francisco. So opportunities to get involved across the country.
So it sounds like you're growing as well.
We are, yeah. It's really exciting.
What's behind that? Is there something going on that's motivated? I mean, there seems to be, you talk to people at Gociety, you talk to ZEAL Optics, there seems to be some sort of magic in the air, at least here in Colorado, where things are coming together. People are very interested in getting outdoors and adventures. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, I think there's a whole new conversation about recognizing that this next generation is going to be really important to us maintaining our public spaces, our national parks, our national forests. And if we're not introducing these students to the outdoors now, they're not going to be going into the outdoors as adults. And so really this motivation behind getting more kids outside, and especially introducing kids who live in Denver and look at the mountains all the time but never have the opportunity to get up and in them.
Awesome. And Anna, tell us a little bit give us a taste of what we're seeing here right now and kind of the lineup today, because you've got a chock full schedule of awesome things. We went over quite a few with Jason in our preview show, but I want to hear what you're particularly excited about.
There's so many things. There are so many things. Even just trying to explain, giving you like photo walk-arounds, it's like, which one do I do first? There's acro yoga, which I'm not familiar with. So that's particularly exciting for me, just to see what is that. Go check it out. Stand-up paddleboarding.
Is that the combination of like acrobatics and yoga?
Right. So it's the combination of that. We have workshops going on throughout the day at different intervals. So stop out and see one of those.
That sounds like something I'd be interested in, actually.
Try it.
I did break my toe coming out of a headstand the other week or month, so maybe acro yoga is not the thing I should be trying.
Maybe. But that's
what else we got?
That's one thing. Definitely, like a lot of people talk about stand-up paddleboarding, and that's a big sort of a big thing to do right now, but they're pretty expensive. So you can go and try one here and just see what you think. Paddle around. Is there one that you like better? And just see what would be best, for you. So the pool is awesome. I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a pool party at the end of the day.
Mike's nodding his head. Mike seems very into the pool idea.
There's no way that there's not going to be. So look out for that, of course.
Floaties.
Yes. We've got these cool chill furniture from Air Lounge. That's amazing. I love it that they're all over the place. Then there's also this outdoor cooking classes this afternoon. I want to see this. I want to see rabbit and trout tacos.
Yeah, rabbit and trout. That's stuck with me since Jason mentioned that.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool. Kyle Morgan will be doing that, and he's an amazing sort of outdoor chef, and he's just done some cool things. He has this long history of like what comes to Colorado and what's local and what's the history of the things that are growing here and what flavors does he use with. It's very intricate, his process. So that's cool.
There are a lot of rabbits in my backyard, so it should be a handy
tacos.
I took a survival course when I was in England, and he taught me how to trap rabbits, to make the rabbit. I don't remember any
rabbit
of it.
Stew?
I would die out in the wilderness. I really would, without my clip bars. Mike, you touched on a few of the folks that we're going to be talking with. Specifically, Matt Siegel, you mentioned. He's a pro climber. He's started his own instant coffee shop. We're interested to hear about that. I know he climbs with the elite climbers in the world. He climbs with Alex Honnold out there. He's featured in National Geographic. Tell us a little bit about your partnership with someone like that. What does that look like?
I talked a bit about the diversity of our team, but beyond just the skill level of folks, ZEAL really focuses on several core principles. We like to inspire people to get out and try new activities, and also really focused on sustainability and giving back to the community, working with Big City Mountaineers and groups along those lines. So we try and find ambassadors that are also involved in the community, involved with issues that are near and dear to our heart and protecting outdoor playgrounds. And Matt really espouses that and just has a fun personality to inspire other people to get after it.
So yes, he does climb at a very high level, but it's really his passion to protect the outdoors and kind of what's driving him that makes you interested in partnering with him.
Exactly, and our entire athlete base is driven along those lines too.
Tell us a little bit, and you also work with Olivia Sue?
We do.
Tell us a little bit about her. We're intrigued by her.
She's an amazing woman. So in addition to being a world-class climber with groups like Prana, et cetera, traveling the world on that front, she's also a remarkable yogi and leads retreats around the world on the yoga front and has summited some of the hardest routes globally, both not just from a female climbing standpoint, but she's setting the bar for the industry in general.
Okay, so I want to open it up around the table here. What's some of the things that you're particularly interested? Mike, maybe start with you. Just today, you're looking around. What are you particularly excited about?
I haven't had a chance to crack open the guidebook for today, but everything that I've seen in the first hour has me very interested. And rabbit and trout tacos sound pretty darn good too. Is that a mix or are they separate?
Separate.
Bummer.
And Elizabeth?
Our booth is over kind of by the climbing wall, but right next to us is a solar grill company that apparently, he's making asparagus and cinnamon rolls, and I'm excited to pop over and see what that's all about.
Well, hey, really appreciate you all stopping by the booth. Or the trailer, the ZEAL Explorer, I should say. We didn't mention the hardwood floors. Nick, did we get an ample description of this thing before we let these folks go? You think so? Okay, good. Well, thank you, guys. We're going to talk next to the Big City Mountaineers.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Hi, I'm Kelly, hosting with Dispatch Radio, and we're here with Big City Mountaineers and some alumni and ambassadors. And also, Bix, could you just tell us a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So Big City Mountaineers has been running transformative wilderness mentoring trips for under-resourced urban youth for 26 years. We operate here in Colorado, the Pacific Northwest, and the Midwest. And we run week-long backpacking trips with youth-serving partners with a 1 adult to 1 student ratio.
And how do you get funding for the organization?
Sure. So about a third of our funding comes from outdoor industry partners who are super generous with us. Another third of our funding comes from grants, and then the last third comes from the Summit for Someone program, which is essentially like a Walk for MS or something like that, but people go and climb high peaks and raise money for our students to climb mountains of their own.
Okay, that's awesome. So how did you all get involved? Could you introduce yourself?
I'm Isa, and I joined or got into this with Elk. Big City Mountaineers and Elk partnered up, and then Justin from Elk, he invited me to go to this backpacking trip, and I don't know. I agreed because I wanted to mentally challenge myself in this. And
had you backpacked before?
No, I
have.
Have
you hiked before?
Yeah, I've hiked.
Oh, okay. So you were interested in doing some more hiking and backpacking?
Yeah.
And what was the trip that you did?
It was just a backpacking trip with the Summit.
And was there any specific experience that you remember out there that got you really excited and inspired?
I think it's just going up the summit, feeling the excitement up there, and it was really relaxing to be up there and to let all your relaxations let free.
And you felt peaceful and free, and the view must have been gorgeous.
Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you're excited to share with other people your age so that they go experience the same thing?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like a lot of kids my age, like the 14 through like 16 range, like wouldn't go because they have like this technology now, but like I think this is like a good way to like mentally like challenge yourself, and like go out there and like find out what you really like.
Yes, I know what you mean. It gives you like a setback and break from all the madness going on in the world, and you can actually find your center and be quiet a little bit so you know what you want.
Yeah, you have like your own thinking time.
Yes, you're not so distracted.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing. How about you,
Yeah.
Bulldog, correct? Is that your name? Is that your real name? Did your mom name you that? Could you tell me about your experience? Did you go on the same trip?
Yeah.
And what was it like for you? How did you get involved in going on the trip? Who talked you into this, or?
I got involved in the trip with Elk, and same thing with Issa. Justin called me up one day saying, hey, I know you did a lot of work. You've been doing a lot of things with Elk recently. I feel you deserve some sort of reward. There's a backpacking trip coming up. We've been planning this for a long time, and I feel like you should go on it.
And what did you think at first?
Oh, dang, this is awesome.
Oh, you were
backpacking.
Cool. Have you been hiking before?
Tons of times.
Okay, so you knew that it would be awesome.
Yep.
And then, had you been to a top of a peak like that before?
No, I just like hike around something really quick, then head back down. I never went to the top of a summit before.
Was the view awesome?
It was amazing.
What did it make you feel like?
Powerful.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Did you feel the same experience? Did you feel a little bit more peace? Like you want to do that again?
I didn't feel peace. I felt power.
You felt power? Like you could do a lot?
Uh-huh. If I can climb a mountain, I could tame an ocean, I could do anything I felt like.
That's awesome. Are you going to do more of this now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Would you ever be interested in leading trips eventually?
Yeah. Bix was talking about how I could be a guide one day if I keep doing what I do.
Awesome. Yeah. Maybe you can just start climbing bigger peaks too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing, Bulldog. Could you tell us your name again?
My name is Luz.
And how did you get involved in Big City Mountaineers?
So just like Issa and Tyson, I was involved with Environmental Learning for Kids, which is short for ELK.
Thanks for explaining what that is.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Yeah, it's a nonprofit, and so I actually work with them. I'm a urban ranger, which is like a subsection of it, of what we do. And so we go out and we like teach kids how to fish. We teach, do school programs. We do a lot of different things with them. And so through the Urban Ranger program is how I got involved with Big City Mountaineers, because at first it was supposed to be Urban Ranger thing where we went out, like all the urban rangers, and we did this backpacking trip, and it just kind of went from being everybody going to like everybody starting school, and then just being 2 urban rangers, and then us taking some of the kids that we had taught throughout the summer out with them also.
So were you guys invited to go on the trip? They came up to you and asked you because you were into what you were doing already?
So it was a trip that was already planned for the Urban Rangers.
Okay.
So we had already planned to go, and then because of all the other Urban Rangers that couldn't make it, we ended up having all these spots available for the students that we had in the program to go. And so we just ended up taking some of the ones we thought were capable of doing it, or older, more mature, and could handle something so amazing that we got to do. So
so it was a great experience.
It was definitely a great experience.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any stories about it?
Yeah, so going up to we ended up going to White River National Forest. That's where we went backpacking. And so I thought it was just going to be like, oh, we're going to go hiking. We're going to have like some activities to do. But like the reality was that we ended up doing a lot more than what I thought like we were going to do. So the first day, it was a little crazy because we had like a photographer taking pictures of us stopping through like the whole like trip and stuff, like every 5 minutes taking pictures. But after that, we also saw this amazing like field of raspberries. And during that time, like what we had expected was like, oh, we had come a week earlier, they wouldn't have been here. A week later, they wouldn't have been here. So it's just something like experiencing that nature and seeing that like, firsthand, like outside.
In the perfect timing of being there to eat those raspberries and
Yes.
how beautiful they are.
Yes, and that first day was kind of hard for all of us. So when we saw the raspberries, it was just kind of like a little treat for us, a little like, oh, this isn't going to be so bad. This is just like a little break for us.
Yeah, that's what it seems like the earth does, right? It brings you little gifts all the time.
Absolutely.
And if you pay attention, then you start to notice that. And being out in the wilderness lets you see that that's out there, all the beauty all the time. And that's always available for you.
Yeah, and like you said, we do have all of this like beautiful nature available to us, but we don't really take into consideration. I feel like not everybody knows about it and not everybody gets out to experience it.
So all you guys are going to help people who don't get to experience it go out or find people to say, yes, you can. And we have a program that we can help you come out and experience what we experienced and see the world in a whole new perspective.
Yes, hopefully we do get to express our love that we found with Big City Mountaineers and with Environmental Learning for Kids to teach other students to come outside also. And I think what I was talking earlier when we were doing the talk was that a lot of people don't get outside because of the resources that we aren't available to.
Yeah. How can people who are listening get involved?
Yeah. So each of our Big City Mountaineers trips has one professional wilderness instructor on it, one member of the staff from the youth serving agency we partner with, and then 3 volunteers. So over the course of the summer, we need almost 100 volunteers just to run our Big City Mountaineers programming. So go to bigcitymountaineers.org and sign up to volunteer to provide these awesome opportunities. Also, our partners like Elk always depend on volunteers and donations to run their programs.
So volunteers to go out and lead students.
Yeah, just to hang out with awesome kids. Our instructors handle all of the wilderness skills, risk management, programming. Our volunteers are just there to have conversations with some really inspiring youth.
And as the ambassadors of the program and alumni, it's awesome just to like talk to your friends and everyone all the time about it so that they know what an amazing experience it is and to know that they can get out there and have the same experience you guys did. So just always keep telling your story. And some people might not be interested, but a lot of people will, and people will hear you. So it's awesome what you're doing, I think. Thank you so much.
Thanks for talking with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.